My mental health diagnosis that I have is bipolar 2. I was diagnosed in December of 2021.
What is it like to live with bipolar 2?
What it's like to live with bipolar 2 is it's definitely challenging. It definitely makes, I feel like, normal functioning a lot more difficult than probably what it should be. I'm lucky enough that I was able to receive medication and therapy, so that has helped quite a bit. But before that, it was extremely, extremely difficult to function and to be able to go do normal things like go to class or work or be with friends and family. Like, it was extremely difficult to just manage the highs and lows. And even still now, there's definitely some hard days for sure. Yeah, before I was diagnosed, I assumed that that bipolar was strictly for the 2-week manic episodes and the 2-week depressive episodes, and I thought mania looked like ecstasy, like people were having like the best time ever and were just being extremely like risky and happy and fun, and then obviously the 2-week depressive episode. And so I was kind of under the impression that like that was something that couldn't apply to me, that was like some categories that I couldn't fit in until I became more educated about what bipolar 2 looks like and other different symptoms that don't look like the typical symptoms of bipolar.
Yeah. What is about?
Yeah, absolutely. So around the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, I started having very much difficulty like doing anything, like getting out of bed, going to work, going to school. I felt extremely worthless and alone, and I was even struggling with suicidal thoughts, and I really just like wasn't okay, to be honest. And and then it kind of started forming into, I would notice that around like 4-ish days out of the week, on occasion, like every couple weeks or so, I would start having like the complete opposite, if that makes any sense. I was super productive and I had racing thoughts and I couldn't keep up with anything that was going on in my head, and I was talking so much and I would get angry very fast and I would be engaging in a lot more risky behavior, and I couldn't sleep and I didn't know what was going on. And then sometimes it would form like kind of mixed, so I feel like I would have super impulsive and risky thoughts, but I was also extremely sad and extremely depressed and like hated myself, you know, and so it would turn into more self-destructive behaviors because of that. And this went on for quite a while, I would say like 8 or 9 months, and then I finally felt like I definitely needed to seek help. I felt like it felt like I was going crazy. It felt like I was like, I don't know, unstable and like misunderstood, and I just wanted to finally get help and to finally just, I don't know, be able to not have such highs and lows, if that makes any sense, to be able to feel like I could go to work and could go to school without my emotions being unpredictable, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so including therapy, some other mental health treatments that I received was, I was lucky enough to be put on medication, and I'm still on medication. And that was very, I would say, one of the biggest parts to my journey and my growth, because it actually helped me to kind of balance out the ups and downs. You know, like granted, I still do have good and bad days for sure. It's just not nearly as extreme as it once was. And so it definitely has helped kind of like me to stay closer to that baseline. And it's also helped for me to be able to focus on, you know, what are some of the things that are driving some of these emotions, and like what are some positive things that I can incorporate into my life to help balance things out, and also help deal with start addressing like some trauma that's happened a couple years ago that I wasn't really addressing before. It's honestly just helped me to grow in that journey, I would say, to be able to like balance out everything, like all the emotions, but also to look deeper into what I can keep doing to improve my mental health and processing emotions and everything. My experience with therapy has definitely been beneficial in a lot of ways, but it also showed me, at least at the beginning, it showed me the importance of finding a provider that you really do connect with, someone that really is accepting of you and like not judgmental at all, who is there to support you and listen to you and is there to believe you. It took a couple different providers for me to be able to find the one that I'm still currently seeing. And since then, it has been amazing. It's been amazing to just have someone who is just listening and like isn't going to judge you for anything and is there to purely just support you and to encourage you to find a better place and to help facilitate that growth and help me to process a lot of these things that I definitely could have not done on my own. So it's been phenomenal for me, at least in my experience. It definitely took a little bit to find the right fit, but it's been great for me. How other people have reacted to my diagnosis has been overall very supportive, especially with my close friends. It has been super nice to be able to share this with them, and then it's also increased more understanding of things. So like if I, I'm having a really low day and I just kind of want to hibernate in my room for a little bit and just like not really be super social or anything, like honestly just expressing that to my roommates or my friends, like they have been like, yeah, absolutely, take care of yourself, do your thing. And then on the flip side of that, when things are going great, they've also been there to embrace that with me as well. So that has been a huge support. When it comes to my family, they are definitely very supportive. They have encouraged me this whole time to seek help and get into therapy and continue therapy and everything. So that has definitely been very, very beneficial. I know that's not the same for a lot of other people, so I'm very lucky that the people in my life have been supportive of this. I definitely have noticed a difference in how I view myself before and after this diagnosis. Before, I definitely labeled myself as crazy. I felt like I was super alone and I didn't understand anything about what I was going through, and I just felt like I was blaming myself for all of the emotions and things that I was doing. Because I felt like I was a bad person, like I felt like I wasn't good enough or I wasn't doing anything right. And then after like hearing this diagnosis and learning more about it, and then definitely after I was receiving more constant therapy sessions and medication and everything, it definitely kind of flipped around. I first of all felt way less alone. I felt like people understood that I wasn't actually the only person in the world that was experiencing these things. And then definitely receiving support from loved ones was huge in helping me kind of not feel alone so much anymore. But I also just it normalized these symptoms enough that I felt more like welcome, and I felt like I kind of have gotten a better understanding of who I am as a person as a result of that. And so it's been, like, as hard as it still is to have ups and downs and lows and highs and everything, like, it definitely has been nice to have more of an explanation and to be able to realize, okay, like, I may be feeling super down, I may be feeling like I'm not good enough, or that there's still like so many things that I need to improve upon, but like now I can recognize like, hey, I'm just kind of in a low period right now. Like things are gonna get better. Like these are some of my things that I can do when I'm feeling this way that can help me get to a better place emotionally. Some strengths that I've noticed in myself while navigating through this have been perseverance, I would say, like especially with receiving help and like, continuously meeting every so often for therapy sessions and trying super hard to implement some of those strategies that I've learned in those sessions in my everyday life. I would definitely say self-awareness has been a big strength that I've gathered through this whole process. Now it's been a lot easier for me to kind of, think about what I'm thinking about and think about how I'm feeling and be able to kind of be like, where is this coming from? Like, what is going on? What can I do to react to this, I would say probably self-awareness is the biggest strength that I've acquired through all of this. Some things that I would like other people to know about what it's like to live with this is that it definitely isn't easy. Like even with like medication and therapy, at least I still struggle with having ups and downs just normally, and I feel like it hits me still a little bit harder than it would maybe to people who don't have this diagnosis. But I would also say it doesn't make, I feel like there's definitely a stigma out there that people with bipolar are like crazy and unstable, and like, yes, like before I was medicated and before I saw therapy, it definitely felt like it on my end. However, like just because I have this, it doesn't necessarily mean that I am crazy or that I am unstable. It just means that I experience emotions and feelings maybe just a lot more intense than other people do. And I also just want, like, I would just want to express like that, like, I don't want this to be something that like distances me from other people, or like it is definitely something that I can have and I can still be successful in work or school, or like that I still like deeply and genuinely care about other people even with this. Like, I don't know, I just wish that there was less of a stigma when it comes to things like that. Yeah, some encouragement that I would offer to someone who has or hasn't been diagnosed with this yet is you are not alone, like not at all. There are so many people who, one, also struggle with this, but also have come out on the other side and know what it's like to receive help and support, and they also know what it's like to not have help and support. And like, no matter where you are in your journey, like you are not alone at all. You have people in your corner that will support you, and they're just basically like, you are loved, like you are strong, you are an amazing, incredible human being, and just because you are struggling with this right now does not make you any less of a great human being.